These are the examples for Geometry B, Credit 3, Lesson 15.2. Lesson 15.2, we're going to be talking more about inscribed figures and finding measures of unknown angles. This time, we're going to be talking about inscribed quadrilateral. Inscribed quadrilaterals, I should say. Quadrilateral means it has four sides, so 1, 2, 3, 4. In our last lesson, we were dealing with inscribed triangles for a couple of the problems. All right, so here we want to find the measure of angle B. So one thing we have to know about an inscribed quadrilateral, well, first of all, inscribed just means all four angles or all four vertices are on the circle. And something also about inscribed quadrilaterals, the opposite angles are supplementary. So the opposite angles are supplementary, meaning they add to 180 degrees. And the reason for that is, if you think about it, when we have two opposite angles, let's say like A and C, A intercepts this arc here, and C intercepts this arc here, which is, you put them together, you got the whole circle. Well, remember, the measure of an inscribed angle is half of the arc that it intercepts. So between the two angles, they intercept the entire circle, which is 360 degrees. Half of that's 180. And so what we're going to do to find these measures, we'll start with angle B. So angle B is opposite angle D. And so angles B and D are supplementary. They add to 180 degrees. So to find the measure of angle B, we're just going to go 180 minus 91, and we get 89 degrees. Just making sure we have the right numbers written down there. So that measure of angle B would be 89 degrees. And of course, remember our symbols, the little M stands for measure. That's the angle symbol, angle B. So measure of angle B, 89 degrees. Angle C, same idea. Angle C is opposite angle A, so angles C and A are supplementary. So we would just take, remember, and again, supplementary means they add to 180. So we would just go 180 minus 62, and that gives us 118 degrees. So the measure of angle C would be 118 degrees. So you might wonder, say, well, when we're dealing with supplementary, is it always 180 minus the angle you know to find the other angle? Yes, because again, supplementary means the two angles add up to 180 degrees. All right, so now let's take a look at an example for problems 3 and 4. 3 and 4 are very similar, so we're just going to do one example for them. The only difference is, and you have the same diagram for problems 3 and 4, the difference is in problem 3, they're asking you to find the measure of angle N, and in problem 4, they're asking you to find the measure of angle G. So what we're going to do is we're going to solve for Y, which is what we have to do first, and then we're going to find the measures of both angles, and that'll suffice, or should suffice, for both problems 3 and 4. All right, so what we're given here, we're not given any information about these two angles here. So we have our inscribed quadrilateral, and the only thing we're given information about is the measure of angle G is represented by 11y, and the measure of angle N is represented by 7y. And notice those are opposite angles. They're opposite from each other, as opposed to being adjacent, like G and F would be adjacent or next to each other, or G and H would be adjacent next to each other. But as it is, these are opposites, and as we just said in the first example, that the opposite angles in an inscribed quadrilateral, tough word to say, just means it's a four-sided figure. And so those opposite angles are supplementary. So we could say 7y plus 11y. And what does supplementary mean? That means together they add up to 180. So here we can't just go 180 minus a number, because we don't have a number here. We have an algebraic expression. So we're going to have to solve for y, and then we'll be able to find the measure of both angles. So again, opposite angles are supplementary. So we add these up and set it equal to 180 because they're supplementary. So we can combine our like terms here. 7 plus 11 is 18y. And so we have 18y equals 180. And then the last step, we're focused over here on the left because that's where y is. Y is being multiplied by 18, so we divide 18 to both sides. The 18s cancel. And then 180 divided by 18 is 10. So y is 10. So that's the first part of our answer. Now, our ultimate answer is to find the measure of the angle that you're being asked to find. Now, on number 3, so we'll say for the rest of this is our example for number 3, and this is our example for number 4. So number 3, you're being asked to find the measure of angle n. So what you would do is take the expression for angle n, which is 7y. We know that y is 10. Let's do it like this, 7y. Yeah. Trying to figure out the best way to represent it. But all right, there we go. So y is 10, and then 7 times 10 is 70 degrees. So the measure of angle n would be 70 degrees. Now, if they ask you to find the measure of angle g like they do on number 4, you would not use the expression for angle n. You'd use the expression for angle g, which in this case is 11y. So we have 11y, and we're going to substitute our answer for y, which was 10, and 11 times 10 is 110 degrees. So the measure of angle G is 110 degrees. So on both problems 3 and 4, you're going to solve for y like this. You're going to have two separate problems, but on problem 3, you're going to find the measure of angle n, so you'll use the expression that's there for angle n. And then on problem 4, you'll find the measure of angle G, so you use the expression for angle G. In other words, you don't have to do both of these for both problems. Just you'll do angle n for problem 3 and angle G for problem 4. Notice also, remember we said that opposite angles are supplementary, meaning they add to 180 degrees. Notice if we add 70 and 110, 70 plus 110 is 180. So that kind of verifies and confirms our answer, not only for y, but our answers for the angles. All right, so that is it for the examples for lesson 15.2. Again, pause. We'll just take a second there. So if you want to pause and look at both examples, pause, rewind the video as needed, and I'm sure you're going to do great with the work. So until the next video, take care and God bless.